Hey guys, this is Gene Jensen. I'm here with my nephew Clark, and today I'm going to teach him how to cast a baitcaster. All right, well, first of all, we are at Highland Rim Retreats for our family reunion, and Clark said, you know, Uncle Gene, will you please teach me how to cast a baitcaster? Yeah. So what I'm going to do today is I've got I grabbed one of my rods that had monofilament line on there, and we're just going to kind of go through the whole paces of how I teach anybody how to cast a baitcaster. So first of all, let's start at the reel. So real quick, let me come close and I'm going to show you guys the baitcasters and show you exactly how to set it up in order to do this, okay? First of all, the baitcaster has got several different moving parts. It's got a cast control knob, and on the inside, some way, somehow, depending on the baitcaster, you open up this side plate, and it's got a braking system on the inside. The 13 fishing reels are really simple. All it is just a dial system. You got 0 through 6, okay? First thing you do is you set it to 0. And this is to set it to the weight of the lure or whatever you're using. And we're using a Spro hollow body frog type lure. And so what we're gonna do is I'm going to, let me back up a little real quick, Clark. I have it set to 0. I tighten the cast control knob on this side. I tighten it down, and then I reel the line up to where the frog is just about, 6-8 inches below the tip. Hold the rod up at 10 o'clock and start to loosen that cast control knob until that frog starts to fall. Oh, I gotta push the button. All right, push the button, loosen that cast control knob until that frog starts to fall. Okay, it fell, but you see how fast it fell? I'm going to tighten it up just a hair. Okay, and it just barely started to fall, and then I just give it 2 more clicks up to tighten it down a little bit. This will prevent a lot of the backlashes for somebody that's beginning. So that's how you set that one up. Oh, and then what you do is you open up your braking system and turn it from 0 to 3, halfway. No matter what your braking system is, turn it halfway. Okay. Either half the brakes or half whatever. All right, that's it. It's ready to practice. The next trick is what you do to prevent those amazing backlashes that you get that cause a tremendous amount of aches and pains. It's going to take you forever to get them out because mainly you're not good. You haven't learned how to pick them out. I'm an expert at picking out backlashes because I've done so many. The trick is you make a good long cast, or if you can't make a cast, just pull that much line out, but just make a good long cast. Okay, we'll loosen that up just a little bit. And then pull out 4 or 5 arm lengths. Then take a piece of electrical tape, any kind of tape, and look at what I'm doing. You just take that tape and you tape it on the spool. Now I'm using Gorilla Tape. I would not recommend it, but that's all I had in my truck. And you just tape it around the spool. Just like that. And then reel your line in is what you're doing. So you reel that cast back over top of the tape. And that will prevent those really bad backlashes. The next thing that we need is a target, and I didn't have a 5-gallon bucket, but ultimately what I like to use is I like to use a 5-gallon bucket and a 1/4 inch nut, because that nut makes such an amazing noise when it hits a 5-gallon bucket. And most kids really, there's something about that noise. They get excited. We start playing games about it and things like that. But instead of that, I've got my my little Yak Attack black pack that I put in the back of my kayak to hold my tackle because we're kayak fishing today. So we're going to put this out in the field, and this is going to be our target. I'm not so much concerned at first about him hitting the target, more or less the technique to get there, and then I let him worry about aiming and trying to at least get close to a target. So let's go do this. All right, so first of all, we set up the black pack we're going to actually back up a little bit. We're going to set it up about 40-50 feet away, not too far. We're not looking for distance, mainly accuracy and just making sure that he doesn't backlash at first. All right, sorry guys, I had to switch the camera from one side to the other. The lighting was horrible, so I know it's kind of freaky. It's one of the basic rules of videography is you don't switch the sides of the camera. But anyway, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk this through. And what I do when I teach people how to fish is I do a C1 do one or C3 do one. And so the basic fundamentals of casting a baitcaster are you want a nice back cast and you want a smooth front cast. So when I say nice, you just want to have the rod load up with whatever you're casting. And then, you know, with a spinning rod and with a push button, you see a lot of people do this whip cast. You cannot do that with a bait caster, because that's what causes backlash. The other thing is during the cast, you want your thumb to just barely be touching the spool, okay? And unlike with a push button or a spin caster, you know, you push the button, you hold it down, and then you let go of it and it goes out. Well, this is kind of that way, but you know, basically you push it down, the button doesn't come back up. And so the only time the button comes back up is when you start turning the handle. And so you make a cast by bringing it back, nice smooth motion. And I find that it's easier to do a sidearm cast than an overhand cast when you're learning. So you back it up and then you feather that spool. You just kind of barely, I keep my thumb on the button and I just barely touch the spool. And if it starts to backlash, you can feel it in your thumb, and over time it's gonna be second nature. You feel it backlashing and you just tighten down on your thumb just a little bit and it'll work. Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple. Nice easy back cast, and then a little smooth side cast. And you wanna follow through just like you do with a baseball bat or a golf club or anything else. Just like that. And it's not a full follow through, but you do want to, you figure out what your release point is. Okay, so sidearm cast, and I hit the box. Okay, and so as you learn that, I'm gonna get Clark to do it real quick, and then we'll talk about the rest.
Oh no.
Yeah, oh no. Slide right over there. All right. So are you left-handed?
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect. All right, so we're gonna go about this way. All right, now, you let about 18 inches of line out. It doesn't have to be perfect, that's fine. Okay, think of it as a spinning reel. Let's see what happens. Okay, nice easy cast. Now as you see how it tightened up a little bit, I want it to spin a little bit freer, so I'm going to loosen it up a hair. Okay, right there. All right, go and reel it in. Now when you hold a bait caster, you want to palm it. Okay, I know this is they call this a trigger, and you think your trigger finger needs to be on it. I want your ring finger to be on it. Okay, so you're holding it like this. Gives you more leverage. Okay, good. Okay, did you see how you may have pushed down a little bit too hard with your thumb? Okay, keep going. Just keep practicing. And your goal is accuracy and distance, and trying to get the fundamentals down. Okay, good. Now you're releasing a little bit too early because it's going way around like that. Oh yeah, and the only safe spot to stand when somebody's casting is behind their off shoulder.
Better, kind of.
Worse. Okay, so you see how you jerked it down and it went straight down to the ground?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to do a sidearm.
Okay.
Yep, good. A good release point. Now try with a little bit more speed. Don't be so scared. You got that tape there to stop the backlash if it does.
All right.
Okay. And then throughout, you know, as he gets better and better, I'm going to move that tape further and further back. I'm going to give him more line to play with. And it's not a bad idea to even take them fishing once they've reached a point where they can make a good long cast. Hard cast. Go ahead. Okay. See how much different that was? Yeah. You still got to worry about your release point. You also got to worry about is there any loose line on that spool?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay.
Much better.
Much better. And you cast it all the way to the tape. Okay. We made a little bit of a tweak to his reel to make it go a little bit further. It was stopping too soon. I do want a little bit of backlash in the cast, but not much. Okay, you see how you had that overrun?
Yeah.
All right, let me show the camera real quick. You can barely see this, but when he stopped, he had a little bit of overrun. You see that curl? And so that lets him know that he needs to change a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tape off. I'm going to make him backlash a little bit more.
Uh-oh.
And we'll go from there. This is why I say don't use Gorilla Tape, is because it's the best thing to use is masking tape or electrical tape. But dummy me didn't bring any, so I had to replace the line on this spool anyway. So I pulled a little bit more out. I want to have a good backlash so we can see whether he's doing a good job or not. but not so much that it hurts him. Don't want to take the time to do it if that's the case. All right. Oops. I thought that might work, but it didn't. Okay. All right, here, reel it back in. All right, remember, put your ring finger over that. Nope, next finger up. Yep, you want to palm the whole reel. And the reason is it gives you more power on the hook set. Okay, and you can reach around, and when you're fishing really, the bite's really tough, you can sit there and hold your line, and you actually feel bites better straight through your line to your finger than you can through any rod. So when they're biting really light, that's when I'll reach my finger up there. Good job. All right, you get any backlash?
Nope.
Nope. Good job. And just remember, a nice smooth back cast and a smooth cast to the side. If you start whipping it like a spinning reel, you'll backlash every time. Good. Your release point's a little bit off, but you're getting a little bit scared about backlashing. So, which is okay.
This is a lot easier than I thought.
Oh yeah, it's a lot easier. Good. You get any loops out? Loops? No, you loosened up a little bit, but not too bad. Good. And then you just sit here for hours and hours and days and weeks and months and practice. I still practice trying to hit targets. Your targets get smaller and everything else. So we're going to let Clark keep practicing. Then we're going to take him out on the lake, see if he can catch a fish with it. A bunch of, the best reason for doing this here on the dirt and on the ground is safety. And it's more frustrating when you're trying to catch fish and trying to learn how to cast the reel at the same time. Practice, just practice. It's a great skill to know. Well, like I always say, be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. I thank Clark for being here and helping me out.
Thanks for teaching me.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how good you are in a month. But anyways, thanks for watching. Be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. Introduce them to my channel. Let me help you teach them how to fish. More importantly, get out on the water, go out and catch some fish. And have a great day. We'll see you.